Paula Pant, the host of the Afford Anything podcast, likes to answer questions her listeners send in. This is a special episode where she also has Joe Saul-Sehy from the Stacking Benjamins show join in the fun.
Hi, Paula. My name is Hailey. I'm a brand new listener. I'm starting at the backlogs and working my way up. But I had a question for you in the next coming episodes, so whenever this works, that'd be great. I'm 21. I just recently graduated college, and I'm working for the same organization that I worked for all throughout college. It's a pretty modest salary. I think I'm only taking in about $30,000 a year, but I'm only working 30 hours a week, so I have a lot of flexibility to work on side projects. I currently am in the process of purchasing a condo for $103,000. It's got a great low HOA fee, and because it's in a college town where there's a lot of property managers and a continual cycle of rentals, I'm trying to decide if I should put all of my efforts into paying down the mortgage so that I can later refinance and turn it into a rental property, probably in the next 3 years, or if I should maybe consider prioritizing other income streams. I've got 2 small businesses I'm working on right now that won't have a big payoff for another couple of years, but I'm considering either going into debt with those businesses or using personal investments. So I just wanted to get your thoughts because I'm so young and so new, but eventually I'd love to be a quote-unquote real estate tycoon just like you. So any answers or advice for me that you have would be much appreciated. Thanks.
Awesome question. Hailey, what I love is that you've just graduated from college, you're making a modest starting salary of $30,000 a year, and yet you are already putting yourself on track for lots and lots of future awesomeness.
I totally agree. And the thing that drives me crazy is when somebody goes to work for a company and they go, you know what, that company didn't take time to train me, or that company didn't give me the tools I needed. It really isn't your company's responsibility to make you fantastic. It's your responsibility to make you fantastic. And she's clearly looking at it with that lens. And that's just so awesome. Like, I mean, seriously, even people that think, well, you know, I'm not as well trained as I should be. Like, who wakes up, Paula, every day and goes, I'm going to suck today? Like, does anybody actually say that? But if you think you're going to be great, you have to give yourself the tools to be great. And she's on her way to doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, one of the things I've learned, and we did a podcast episode about this a few episodes back, the concept of taking radical responsibility for your life. Like, Hailey, that's something when I hear your question and when I hear what you're doing, that's something that you seem to have really nailed. Like, you've internalized the idea of taking radical responsibility. And while a lot of your peers are just sitting around moping about the fact that they don't make much, you are like, cool, here are my opportunities. Here's what I'm going to do. You know, you're like all around you, you see opportunity. And your question is, which of these many opportunities should I pursue?
And here's where the experience of a dude who's almost 50 is going to help her a bunch. Because whenever you think that a company's going to have a big payoff in 2 years, whenever you have a company, you should always double the amount of time that it's going to take for it to have a payoff. In your plan, that doesn't mean it's not going to go huge, but I think you always have to plan for the fact that this is not a Starbucks unicorn frappuccino. This might be something that takes a little longer to build. And if you build that into your plan, so when she said it's going to take me a couple of years for a big payoff, my head immediately, Paula, said 4 years, not 2. It's going to take 4.
Yeah. So the one thing, Hailey, that concerned me, now I don't know the details of the company that you're thinking about starting, but you talked about going into debt for it. And that concerns me because going into debt for starting a business is risky no matter what. And if you can limit that risk to risking your time rather than your money, that's actually the better risk to take. And I know that sounds contrary to, you know, when I'm constantly saying that time is your most valuable asset, time is more important than money, the best use of money is to buy back your time. So I realize that sounds like a contradiction, and it is. But when you are starting a business, you're much better off risking your time than you are risking money. And if you are going to risk money on a business, ideally that money should come from money that the business has already made. So in other words, if you start a business and then the business makes money and you use that money, the money that the business has made, to reinvest back into the business so that you yourself are still getting paid zero, and all of the money that's coming in through the business is just getting pumped back into the business. That's awesome. That's exactly how to run a business. That's great. I fully support that.
Remember the earlier question about, changing life insurances? And we talked about thinking in terms of risk management. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here, right? When you look at the failure rate, no matter how great your new business is and how great it's going to be, the failure rate of new businesses is very high. And the sad thing is a lot of the reason why businesses fail, especially when they're started by somebody who's your age, is that the corporate job all of a sudden becomes so much more exciting. And there's so many more opportunities that you just have to go, you know what? I got to set this aside because this is a bigger opportunity over here. And the problem is that if Hailey invests in the side business extensively, she's going to make maybe two mistakes. She might be investing more time and energy into this business just because she has money behind it, and she's going to miss the opportunity with her main focus. In fact, I'm a guy that for a long time, I thought that side hustles might be kind of overrated. I've changed my mind a little bit on that, but not a ton. Because I think a lot of times, Paula, people look at side hustles and they go, oh, if I could make more money over here. And my first question always is, can you make more money at your main job? Because a lot of the time, and studies have shown this, people aren't making nearly what they could at their main pursuit. And when you try to divide your mind in two or three different things, it becomes convoluted. You said you like minimalism, you like things simple. Mm-hmm. If I can make a ton of money doing one thing, and then I can make other passive income streams from other places, mm-hmm. that's my favorite route.
Right. And of course, none of that addresses the question of which route are you more interested in?
Right.
Is your main job the thing that you actually want to pursue, or is this side business the thing that you want to develop until it becomes lucrative enough that it can be your main thing?
Once again, I'm annoyed that you got that before I did. I'm very annoyed.
But even if the answer is option B, even if the side business is the thing that you want to develop until it reaches the point at which it can be your main thing, I'm very, very reluctant to recommend that anybody go into debt for a business. I mean, rental properties is one thing because the debt that you incur is a mortgage debt that is secured by the value of the property, and you can sell that property and recoup its value. And debt in a business, particularly debt that's used to cover operating expenses, that's not something that you can sell and recoup. So I'm really reluctant to, I certainly encourage you to go into some type of a side business. And if you want to invest money into that business, that's fine. If you want to, let me go back to your original question, which was, should you use your money to pay off the rental property versus put it into a business? We'll pretend that you never said the thing about debt for the business. If you wanted to use that money to seed your business, that I think is totally fine. Because a business is not going to be making money from day one. Neither, Joe, you and I are both podcasters. Our podcasts were both deep in the red when they began. I mean,
are you saying they're not in the red now? Is that what you're trying to imply?
They're like, what color comes after red? Like burgundy?
Chartreuse? I don't know.
So we had seed money in cash that we used to get these podcasts off the ground. And that's totally fine, because if the podcast flopped, then we've lost our time and we've lost our savings, but we haven't gone into any debt. And so that, I think, anyway, I feel like I'm getting a little bit rambly now, but...
No, but studies have shown, Paula, that one of the main reasons, I always look at why businesses fail, and there's a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons is that they were underfunded. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a corollary to her saying that, it's probably 2 years from the big payoff. And I said, no, it's 4. is that you really need to double these numbers. It takes a long time to establish yourself in a market. And half of it is that you don't know what you're doing. My brother has a very successful business doing signage. So you walk into like a restaurant. In the bar, they have this thing that shows trivia. And then it also shows advertisements in the trivia. Those are his. He has them all over the Midwest. He's doing great. It took him, he thought it was going to take 2 years. It took him maybe 5.5 before it started rolling. And once it rolled, oh, baby, it rolled. I mean, it was amazing how much it rolled. But, you know, half it was he didn't know what he's doing. He didn't have the right contacts. He didn't understand marketing like he should have. So I think investing more money into your business, cash capital, I totally agree with you. That's a great thing to do because it buys you time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally in support of using your money to fund this business for as long as it takes to give this business traction and get it off the ground.
If she was going to put it toward the mortgage, I wouldn't do that. I still wouldn't do that.
Really?
Here's what I
Okay.
Yeah, because let's say that she puts it toward the mortgage and she doesn't get it completely paid off. You know, if something happens and she can't afford to make a payment and she has it almost all the way paid off, how much of that house, of that condo, is the bank going to take? It doesn't matter if she has one payment left or 40 payments left. They're taking the whole damn thing.
Right.
So here's what I would do. And plus, you and I talk all the time about risk premium. This is a better risk premium. Take that money, open up a separate Vanguard S&P 500 fund or total market index fund, but call it your pay the house off fund. That will, over time, it will grow more quickly over time. Maybe not tomorrow, but over a 10-year period, it'll grow quicker. And she'll be able to pay off the house.
And then make a lump sum payment on the entire thing. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? When I was a financial planner, so I had some clients that got to that point, Paula, and they could pay off the house right now. And guess how many actually did it?
0?
None. Every single one of them was like, nope, I'm content knowing I can do it whenever I want. This is growing faster. I don't really care about actually paying it off. I want to know that I can do it right now if I choose to.
Yeah, because you still have the peace of mind of knowing that you can. And mortgages are such a low interest rate.
Yeah. But for me, that's number 2. I still like putting the cash toward the business to assure that it's going to be a success.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I like that option.
Hey, did you enjoy this excerpt from the Afford Anything podcast? Then click to download our free ebook, Escape. You'll be taken to a page where you can enter your email for immediate access to everything you need to know about escaping the 9-to-5 grind to live life on your terms. And you can also subscribe with one simple click to get alerted when new videos are uploaded.